Hi, welcome. Simon here. In this video, I'll be replacing the keyboard, trackpad, and the battery as a full assembly on a MacBook Pro. Here is the replacement, and I'd like to show it to you. As you can see that the keyboard is already pre-built with the trackpad and the battery as a full assembly. Now the question is, can I just replace the keyboard alone? Let me kind of give you a closer look here. You can see that there's no screw or anything that is holding down the keyboard, meaning that the keyboard is not replaceable. It doesn't come off on its own. I do see some screws here on the side, but then most of it is just kind of embedded the way Apple makes the keyboard. Now the battery, yes, the battery can be replaced on its own. It doesn't have to be a full assembly with the keyboard and the trackpad. The battery, however, is adhesive glue really tight to the base on the computer. So imagine that your battery has gone bad, meaning that the battery most of the time will be swollen, like there's a lump on the battery, and if you try to remove the battery its own, sometimes you get difficulty and you might pop that lump, the swollen battery. So when you pop the battery, sometimes it catches fire, chemical reaction, so it's dangerous. My recommendation is just, why don't you buy the full assembly, swap the motherboard, swap the screen, and off you go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started in this video. That's what I'm planning to do, is to swap the screen, the motherboard into this replacement assembly. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn it around. Identify the model here. It says A1708. That is the MacBook Pro. I'll be using a Pentalope P5. There's another way to identify if the battery is bad, is to look for any signs like the trackpad or the back of the computer. If your computer is uneven, meaning that if you feel like the computer, especially at the bottom part of it, is uneven, is not balancing out, then more likely because of the battery is pushing from the inside out. Alright, once you have removed all the screws, I'll be using a metal prying tool, kind of tuck underneath that little back cover there and pop the little side here. You need to pop open the side. Okay, once you pop it open, slide it down, slide the bracket down towards your body, and then the entire back cover would just come off. This is the reason why you need to slide it down, because they do have this little gap that slide it in, so you need to slide it out. And this is the side of the clipper that you need to pop it open in order to remove the bracket. As I was saying, that the battery looks like this battery was replaced in the past. It doesn't look like its original battery from Apple. I'm not even sure if this is original battery from Apple, but it does look more genuine looking battery comparing to this battery right here. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is to remove the screen, get everything out of it. I'll be using a T3. My recommendation is to take a picture of the computer, meaning that you want to take a picture of the internal part of it like such. Just take a picture of that and then print out that picture in a piece of paper. And while you're removing the screws, you want to put that screws on top of that paper as a reference, so that you know where the screws are coming from, because all the screws are come in different size, and you do not want to mix match the screw because they are not the same. Alright, enough said. I'm just removing all the screws here, which is the bottom part, 1, 2, 3, 4 with the bracket, 5, 6. Now comes to the top, 7 and 8. 7 and 8 with the bracket. Disconnect the LCD cable. They're just like Lego. What I did was just tuck underneath using my finger, and then fingernail, and just pop it straight up. So that is removed. I'll be using a T5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I've removed all 4 screws, you can see that the LCD board is free, and that is a good sign. And this is the Pentalope P2, which is the 0.8, tiny little star shape looking, and that is to remove the Wi-Fi antenna. Make sure you have the right tools, because otherwise you might strip the screws. Now, because it's so tiny, there are chances that someone might strip the screw, and if it happens to be you, it is okay to miss one screw. It doesn't necessarily to have all the screws here in order for the computer to work, or the Wi-Fi. So if you miss one screw, it is fine. And I did make a separate video on how to remove a strip screw, and if that happens to you, please go to my channel and look up for Macbook strip screw removal or something like that. Maybe I can link it down in the description below if I remember. Alright, once I've removed all that tiny little screw, using a T3 again, I remove these 2 screws here, because we need to remove the bracket and 3 screws for the hinge. Alright, so remove the bracket, and that is the hinge that we need to detach the screen. Okay, back to the T5. This is the Wi-Fi screw, and to remove the Wi-Fi antenna, I'll be using a plastic prying tool. Go underneath the 2 cable and just lift it straight up. T8 is the next. Go ahead and remove all the screws here, 3 on each side of the screen. At this point, I like to pull open the Wi-Fi, so go ahead and lift it straight up. You might find a little bit hard, because there is some kind of clip that clip onto the middle. You just have to lift it up, wiggle a little bit, and once you have wiggle and lift up, you want to slide this Wi-Fi antenna underneath that little hole here and slide it away from your body. Oops, scared me. That is a bad guy right there. You're gonna see all sort of stuff around here. Okay, open up the computer and open up the screen, and then slide that screen up, and then it's just gonna come off. Alright, the next step is to transfer the motherboard. Here's the fun part. Let's do this together. I'm using a T5. Open up the clipper and slide that cable down. And the speaker would just come right off. Open up the clipper and slide the cable down as well. Remove the 2 screws and the bracket. Open up the clipper and slide that flex cable to your right. That is to remove the CPU fan. Open the clipper, slide that cable down. That is to remove the speaker on the right side. Now some of you may say, hey, I did not disconnect the battery at the beginning to remove everything. Yes, I did not disconnect the battery. That was my mistake. I apologize on that. As I was removing this piece right here, I realized that, hey, I did not disconnect the battery at all. But it's okay. I just want to prove it to you. Even though if I did not disconnect the battery, the thing will still work and we can still get things done. Alright, disconnect that clipper and slide that cable off to your left. We need to reuse this same cable, so make sure you leave it on the side. Now we can slide the motherboard out of here, but before I do that, disconnect this cable. The entire motherboard just came off. Okay, now we need to continue with the fan. There are 2 more screws here. And the CPU fan just comes right off. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to replace with this. So I'll be using the reverse process. CPU fan first. Make sure all the cables are facing on top of the motherboard. I like to slide the motherboard in to the left of the USB-C. So you want to slide it into the slot first, making sure it's all the way in, and gently position the motherboard. But before you do that, make sure the cables are sitting above the motherboard. Okay. Slide it in. Alright, so let's do the reverse process. We need to install here just one screw. I'm gonna leave the battery connection later on, just because I missed that part. So this cable that I just installed is pretty straightforward. They're kind of like Lego. You need to position them in the right place and then just push it in. You don't have to push it really hard. It just goes right back in very easily if you have it in the right position. So something is not going in because that little bracket is still came up from there. So what I need to do is to get a plier, holding down this little metal stuff, and then untwist. So this is the thing that we need to remove. They're stopping the screw to go in. That is the guy that belongs to that. Make sure the clipper is open and slide the cable back in. Close the clipper and that's it. Okay, so this is that. Make sure the clipper is open. Slide the fan back in. Close it down. Same goes for this. Speaker. slide in that flex cable and then push the clipper down. I always having a hard time to get this thing back together, but that should do it. Now the next part is to get the screen back on. Make sure that the LCD flex cables, everything else is sitting above the laptop. Make sure they slide in on top of the laptop. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that everything is on this part here, is on the top of it. And then you want to make sure you match the hinge, slide it into the gap. Okay, at this point, what I like to do is to put one of the screw to hold the hinge so that I can close it. Otherwise, it's very difficult to finish up the repair. Okay, double check, making sure all the flex cables are not pinched down or clipped anywhere. That looks good. Come back and finish up the rest of the screws. Here comes the Wi-Fi, making sure that the Wi-Fi antenna, the two cables is going to go underneath that little tiny hole and sitting above the motherboard, and that little silver bracket would be sitting on top of the motherboard as well. Okay, that's how it's supposed to look like. Position the one in the middle and press it down gently. And now you want to work on the tiny little screws here, which is right about here. I'd like to take this opportunity to let you know, if you like the video, please subscribe and smash the like button. I really appreciate you for doing that. Thank you for smashing the like button and liking the video and subscribing it. And if you have any question, comment down below. I do read the comments and I'll try to answer any of your question through the comments. If you want, you can follow me on social media, Facebook or Instagram. And if you're still following along the video at this point, you're pretty close to be done. I would say maybe 80%. You're getting there. Just be patient to work on the screw. I know it's really tiny. Sometimes it is very time consuming, but it's okay, because if it saves you some money, why not? If you're not sure where to buy the replacement full assembly, check the link down in the description below. I'll link it to either Amazon or eBay where you can find a replacement part as well as the tools for the repair. So technically we fully disassemble the entire laptop. We get to work on the speaker, we get to work on the LCD screen, we replace the keyboard, hey, it looks like I have one missing screw. So I jinxed it myself. Remember when I take it apart, I have all the screws here for the Wi-Fi antenna, have everything in place, but now I don't see it. It looks like I'm missing one. Yeah, it doesn't stick. I hope it doesn't stick onto the speaker. I really hope it doesn't stick onto the speaker. I need to find out. There's one missing screw. Am I in trouble? Nope, I don't think I'm in trouble, but I need to know where that missing screw is. If the missing screw is somewhere outside the laptop, I'm okay with that because just one missing screw doesn't spoil the Wi-Fi. But if that missing screw is somewhere inside the laptop, for example, if you get stuck underneath the speaker, you're gonna get the static sound, right? Because you have uneven metal banging, vibrating at the speaker, so you get those uneven sound. So I need to make sure I find that missing screw, otherwise we'll see. So here you want to flip that little thing inwards, like flip it back and then tuck it back in. That's how it should supposed to do. So for the Wi-Fi antenna, making sure that the cable are sitting on top of each other. You do not want to force it in. Okay, now this is the time to reconnect the battery. Yep, still got a missing screw, which is the I'll figure it out if it's a speaker. Usually the speaker is the one that magnetize that screw and get magnet into it, get stuck into it. So I know that I didn't put the screw back in for the back cover. Like I said, I just want to test it out. At this point here, you want to turn on the computer right away. Get the charger and you should be able to turn it on. And I'm looking for the charger. Where is the charger? Right here. So I have the charger here. Remember, we disconnected the battery for such a long period of time. Because we disconnected the battery for such a long time, the computer motherboard is drained out. It doesn't have any brain to that, so you need to have the charger, plug it in, and then turn it on. Okay, I can hear that little Apple logo sound. You can hear that Apple coming up. Just want to make sure it doesn't show pictures or whatsoever. You can see that the login screen is right there. Okay, I know it's kind of too bright. You can see that I'm typing in the password, so the keyboard is working. There you have it. So I hope this video is helpful, and if you do find the video is helpful, smash the like button. Thanks for watching, and again, you want to share your gratitude, please click on YouTube super thanks to show the support. Appreciate my video and my channel. Bye now.